ค่ะสวัสดีค่ะ Good morning.
Good morning. It's
Yeah.
now what 10 to 11 in the morning here, and we have our interviews today for what class?
For the note taking class, and which is very amazing that we are coming here right now, and we have a guest who is businessman, foreign businessman, right? Of course, he's with us. Let's welcome Mr. Edwin Smith.
Welcome, join us to our show. As you can say. Okay, so let's start with just brief introduction from yourself. What kind of companies you doing right now and the business you run?
Okay. Initially, when I came to Thailand, we opened an online marketing company, which has been running now for a couple of years. And we then realized that there was a gap in the real estate market. A lot of people were doing it, but they were not doing it very well. A lot of freelancers and just fly-by-night people who were not exploiting the business the way that it could be. Also, I worked in property when I lived in the UK, and I could see a lot of gaps in the industry here that I felt could be easily filled. So from there, it was quite an easy decision to do some more research, to look in the market in depth, and to open a real estate company and to take advantage of that.
I see. So how long you been here doing this business?
This business is relatively new. Our online marketing company is much older than this business. This business is about 5 months old.
Wow, that's great to hear. So let's start with our question. Okay.
I just you are doing as a
Managing director.
Managing director, of course. And before you come to Thailand,
Yes.
What did you do?
Business-wise, I was involved in marketing and in real estate for a number of years. For a time, both of those crossed over, and I was doing both of those. So we'd be doing promotion and marketing in the UK, but also working in real estate, and they fitted together quite well. So I did that for a number of years before I came out here.
So why you chose Thailand as your next place to open your business?
There were a number of reasons for that. Initially, I came here on holiday, and I really liked the country, and
so you stay here?
More or less. I mean, that's shortening the story a lot, but I came here a few times, really liked the country, the people, the food, decided that if it was possible, I would like to stay here. And when comparing the West and Asia at the minute, Asia still has a very positive growth that most countries in the West would chop the right on for. Most countries in the West are in serious financial trouble at the minute. The banks have closed down. It's very difficult to do business. It's very difficult to finance any business expansion. And when you compare that and Asia, it was also a logical choice. So I come here. And so in addition, the business that I do, most of it I can do online. So that again was an advantage.
Good start. To do business in Thailand, did you have to contact any local people to start the business in Thailand?
Not really. The only thing you have to deal with is Thai bureaucracy, which is quite legendary. But you just have to employ professionals for that. You just have to get accountants and solicitors and get them to deal with the bureaucracy for you. It's the only way. You've got to make sure that you've dotted all your I's, crossed your T's, and your business is legal within the system. But as far as contacting other Thai companies, we do deal with a number of Thai companies, more on a partnership basis. It's a very good way to share ideas and industry news, and if something's coming along that may damage us or affect how we can deal, then when you have friends in the industry, you find that out quickly. Also, it's quite a good way for identifying the best people in the industry and potentially headhunting them. So if we have a position available, we know who's good within the industry and within the sector. We can then identify them and approach them and see if they would like to come work with us instead.
Cool. So let's talk about the what regulations and laws and stuff like that. Is it hard for you to work here, to start your business here? Because Thailand have many different regulations that I'm sure.
Very difficult. At times you feel as if Thai government don't actually want you to work here. They make it quite difficult. I know most countries in the West, if you said I want to open a company, they would open the doors and welcome you in. They probably give you free rental on a unit somewhere just so that you can go and open a company there. They're very aware that whenever you employ people, you're putting money back into the community and that they can collect taxes on everything those people buy and everything they spend. But in Thailand, it's quite difficult. We constantly run across little obstacles that we need to overcome. But we've got those pretty much, we've put things in place to deal with all of those now. So we have everything done now, it's just a matter of renewing what we have put in place when the time comes.
So is there any obstacle from authority sides of Thai government that you have to deal with?
Well, the visa things are quite problematic. We've got to constantly leave the country for visas. That can be quite problematic. And it entails that you leave because you can only get visas in other consulates on working days, so you've got to lose time out of your working week, which is quite inconvenient as well. Obviously there are money issues involved with that as well, where it's quite costly to keep leaving and getting visas and things like that. We can now go on to internal visas, so that's behind us. Apart from that, it's just need to make sure that your tax is in place and you've got procedures there. But again, delegate the right job to the right person, just employ an accountant, a competent accountant, and get them to deal with that. It's better not to waste your time on it. Just pass it across each month, let them deal with it all. You know, input properly people.
Apart from that, that is very difficult. But another difficult issue that how can you find the worker, the right one to work with your company, to work as your team? What's the qualifications that you have in your mind that person should have?
Okay, that's a good question, and I probably have quite a different ethos from most Thai companies. In fact, most Western companies will. I know that in Thailand, to get any reasonable job, you have to have a university degree.
Right.
That doesn't really matter nearly as much in the West. In the West, we'll look at what people do, especially if they left university or college 4 years ago. I want to know what you've done in those 4 years and how you've progressed. And if someone has progressed further with new qualifications, for me, it's saying in English that you need people who think on their feet. You need people who think quickly, they can solve problems, and they interact well with people. Those are the most important people for us. The qualifications for this. I mean, as an example, if two people came for a position and they were both university students, and one of them had gone through university and got his degrees, good results, etc., but he'd done nothing else. And there was a second candidate who had gone to university, got similar qualifications, but in the summer and in his time off, he immersed himself in the industry that he wanted to be in. So he got a part-time job. He learned the industry and he wasn't afraid to go in and learn from the bottom. So he would start right on the ground floor, and he would even offer to work for free. People would let him learn the industry. Now, if those two people come along and you've one guy who knows nothing about the industry, and you're not even sure if he's going to like it when he starts to work there, he could work for 3 months and then leave, and you have to pick a new person. But this other guy, for 3 years, he's immersed himself in the industry. He can identify problems that this other guy wouldn't even know existed, and he can solve those before they start. So from that aspect, you can see where experience means a lot.
This is kind of Western working style, but in Thailand, most people don't do that. A lot of companies prefer workers to work longer period, extended period. But your company doesn't have that kind of thing, right?
No, people's productivity dips drastically, and especially with their forward thinking and their ability to deal with problems, it drops drastically when you make them work long hours. If they can do the job, go home, spend time with their family, relax and de-stress, they come back the next day, they're ready to work, and their mind's working fast. They can deal with any problem that the job will present them in the day. If if you make them work long hours and they're tired, they have no time to relax and make them home. And when they arrive at work the next day, they're still tired and they're stressed. And they're not going to be nearly as efficient as they could be.
We just want to know about the view that, did you see or do you see the differences between Western working style and Thai working style? What is come to your mind when you think of Thai worker? The best, the good part and the bad part?
There are good and bad parts. The good parts are that Thai workers tend to be quite loyal. If they come, they'll stay with your company and work with you. That part's quite good. The bad part is that they frequently need to be told what to do a lot, so they'll not think by themselves. They'll not just go and deal with the problem. But that's not any reflection on the person. That's a reflection on how business has always been done here. And because it's very, there's a very rigid hierarchy from the top to the bottom, and people at the bottom are not allowed to suggest things to the workers. Like for example, in a Western company, it doesn't matter where you work. If you have a good idea and you're working in the mailroom, you can suggest that to the CEO, and he listens to it. And you think, okay, and maybe ask someone to look at that, someone higher up, but he's listening to it. That wouldn't happen here. So a lot of Thai people are not used to offering solutions and offering something that may move the company forward. It's like in the West we call it brainstorming. So sometimes in a company they just bring everyone in and just sit everyone down and say, okay, we have some problems and this is what they are. What do you think? And that just goes to everyone in the company. You know, there could be salespeople, admin people, or there could be drivers in the room at that time. But everyone will be asked, and then the best solutions from those will be shortlisted. And the other thing is that people are being identified in that process. You know, they may be earmarked for future promotion if they come up with good ideas in the brainstorming sessions.
Okay, so shall we come back to your company? What is the situation you are facing now? I mean, the business, the market.
Compared to the past, or is it better, or you will find the difficulty or some serious problem?
Not really any difficulties. It's all businesses are the same. It really doesn't matter what we're doing. Selling hot dogs or selling onions, it's exactly the same. You should follow the same ethos. Property tends to be pretty static. And there's the same number of people as there were last month, and they will always need condominiums. So it's pretty static, it just rolls along, and the increasing number in condominiums runs roughly in the increasing number in the population. So though some people will say there's a glut of condominiums, etc., it's not as bad as they think out. For example, there are a lot of foreign investors who will buy an entire floor in a condominium block. So they may buy 20 condominiums. They never even attempt to rent them out. I'm quite happy to let them stay there as a long-term investment. I know that in some of the condo blocks in Bangkok, investors in Hong Kong and Singapore own like 25% of the entire condo block.
Before coming to the last question, we want to know, we want to know about, do you have any plans or the future to the business expansion or something like to the other provinces, for example?
Of course, I think that any business model that doesn't include expansion is a faulty business model. I don't think that it's a good business model to say we will progress to step 3 and then just stop. That's silly. If you go to step 3 and the business is there, progress to step 4, step 5. Always move forward. If you feel that the business is getting too big for you, there will always be a competitor or perhaps even an international company who wishes to start working in your sector who will pay you possibly enough for you to retire for your company. So always expansion should be in mind. Everything that you do, you should be looking at with expansion in mind. And always be ready to move your business model to other sectors. So what you've done, I mean, it's one of the things that we spoke about right at the start. When we were bringing staff in, we didn't just look at them for here. Whenever we bring staff in, we try to identify the best people and people who may be managers, and we watch them quite carefully because then whenever we expand and open another office, they'll be given the opportunity to manage that office. So yeah, expansion is always part of our business model.
Okay, so talk about the market in future and your opportunity, in future, the growth of your company. You see it continuing growing rapidly, or you can go day by day or something like that?
Well, I think that the business will continue to grow rapidly. I mean, we've got some aspects of business that people here are not used to dealing with. They find it quite strange. A lot of the things that we'll do, sometimes people think that we should do is move ahead without contracts and agreements in place, whereas we tend to tie everything down quite tightly. We push forward with, we've aggressively pushed forward with getting the names and addresses of everyone who owns a condominium in Bangkok. At the minute, we have over 6,000 people on our database, which in 5 months is quite a good achievement. So we did that in a number of ways. We actively went out searching on the internet and had people on the telephone just calling to try and source new condo owners. We also used some techniques on the internet to find those condo owners and find their email addresses and contact them that way as well. But for that, that's one of the biggest things now that will move forward, because although we have 6,000 condo owners on our books, some of those people have 25 names. So that number is much, much greater. We haven't even touched the sides of that at the minute. We're trying to get all those uploaded onto our database, but it's a considerable amount of work. But that will enable us to move forward very quickly. That now has given us the ability to walk a few steps. And whereas previously we may have struggled to have properties in certain areas, now with that number of condominium owners, there's no area of Bangkok where we can't find a condominium for someone within 20 minutes. We simply go to our database and our files and lift everyone from that area, contact them and see what's available.
So, again, the strength of your company, what do you think is what the key success that you can get ahead from your competitors? Is there any things that you stand out from the other competitors?
We're quite tenacious, quite eager to move forward. We have good staff and we've equipped them with everything that they need. For example, all the staff have smartphones. We have all of our files on cloud, all the ones that they would need access to. So every day we don't need to make a lot of phone calls to each other. They don't need to come to the office, which is great for us because it allows us to have a smaller office. And all of our staff can work almost remotely. They come in maybe twice per week, and usually just to bring a hard copy of the signed contract in. But when they're out and they need to upload data, they simply do it from their smartphones straight onto our cloud files. And it saves us a lot of time. It saves us and them time. They're able to work remotely. They can reach any destination in Bangkok a lot more quickly than they could for the really So it allows us to have very quick reaction time. And it allows us also to monitor what they're doing completely. I think that they need to embrace new technology completely with everything to do. For example, our website, we designed it so that it would be responsive on all devices from the start. So we knew that the number of people who search for everything on mobile devices and tablets was getting bigger day by day. So we designed the website to be responsive on all devices and to operate the most effective way across all devices. So embracing technology is one of the biggest things that we've found.
I just want to know, well, how can you manage your time about your family, some like your parents, if you don't have, just in case you don't marry yet, how can you manage your time, your private life and your work?
Well, it's quite easy really because it is just a job. You're in a different position and you have more responsibility, but it is a job. And if you set yourself parameters for when you start and when you finish that, obviously sometimes as the owner of a business you need to work longer hours. And anyone who wants to start their own business, they have to realize that, especially for a year, there will be a lot of 12, 14-hour days that they will have to put in occasionally. But once your business is operating, you've got everything in place, and you've got all your processes operating as they should do, then you come to work as normal, you go home in the evening, that's it. That's where you need to aim for. And again, that comes back to an earlier question when I mentioned delegating the right people for the right job. Straight back to that.
want to know about one thing. Like we are students and we are studying business. So probably we want to have our own business in the future, right? He wants. So what is your suggestion for the newcomer to the business, to the new beginner, like newly graduated? Yeah, something.
What should they do? What should they apply or study?
Okay, we've actually covered this already in an earlier question.
Yeah.
Go and learn whichever sector you want to be in. It has advantages for you, real advantages, because you may think that you want to work in property or you want to work in hotel management.
Yeah.
And then once you enter that field, you may find out that you hate it. You really don't like to do it. You know, it may not be what you thought it would be. So you've wasted your time with that, and you may even have changed what you were studying in university to tailor that, and you wasted that time as well. Not a good idea. I would always encourage anyone to go and immerse themselves in that business, to find out everything they can, to try and get part-time jobs. If you can't get a part-time job, offer to work for free, just so that you can get that experience. You know, you can do a few hours a week and you'll learn a lot from that. And don't be afraid to go and find out everything. Go to the lowest level and see how those people operate, because you will find out what problems and issues you may face on a daily basis, what problems and issues you'll face at the lowest levels, and you'll also see how people will try to avoid the responsibilities and how they will try to shirk the work and not do what they meant to do. And you're already arming yourself with all that before you start business. So that would be the most important thing I would feel, to do that. And if someone comes to me and they show that sort of enthusiasm, they'll get a position over and above anyone else. Even someone with greater qualifications, if someone had done that and moved into the sector and found out all they could, I could definitely get them a job first.
So, I guess we're good to go for today. So thank you so much, and we hope to hear more from you in the future.
I'm sure you will.
Okay.
So you know, thank you a lot to contributing your time with us.
Thank you very much. Okay. Bye.